First podcast here.
Let's go.
Getting ready to go.
Uncut Podcast.
Alright guys, so since this is our first podcast, we're going to run through the format a little bit. We're at the Premier Sports Uncut Podcast featuring Chago Huerta.
Henry Gatsky.
So the way we're going to format this is going to be a debate. So we're going to pick 3 topics each week. Today we picked all 3 topics ourselves just because it's the first podcast, but starting next week we're going to pick 2 topics ourselves, and then we're going to let you guys vote on a 3rd topic through Twitter polls. And then Henry's going to describe a little bit what we're going to do.
Yeah, and then based off our, so we're going to post out there polls for each one of, each topic, as you said. And the winner, 2 out of 3, is going to pick a punishment for the other one that we're going to show on the beginning of the next podcast. And then also that winner is going to get a rant at the end of the thing about, whatever's going on, whatever's really grinding his gears, whatever. So, and then Chugs will introduce our topics.
Alright, so today our 3 topics are going to be super teams in the NBA. And then leading right into... we got that new Big 3 league coming this summer, presented by Ice Cube. And so we're going to pick our all-time best Big 3 that we could play 1 or 3 on 3 against.
1 on 1.
3 on 3 against each other.
About his players, right?
And then our last topic is going to be who should get in the Hall of Fame first, Terrell Owens or Randy Moss. And we all know Terrell Owens just got gypped in this last voting. So like Henry said earlier, at the end of the show, we're going to put out a Twitter poll for each one of our 3 topics, and then we're going to let you guys vote, see who won the 3, and then one of us is going to have to do a punishment next week. I get today's rant just because it's the first one.
His show.
And then, so we'll jump right into it and start out talking about the super teams in the NBA. And so I'll just start with my argument. I think super teams are good for the NBA. Several different reasons. First of all, if a super team is put together the correct way, it kind of breeds competition. It makes other players want to create their own super teams to compete. Like right now you have the Warriors with Steph, Clay, Draymond, and KD. And obviously they're going to have 2 good years this year and next year for sure. But then following next year you have both Draymond and Clay hitting their contract years. You can't keep all 4 of them together and pay them all maxes, and they're all players that are worth max contracts. So after next year, that super team is going to disperse just as all the other super teams in the past essentially have, because you can't continue to pay everybody and be good and have a full roster. And so it kind of makes it pushes the economic market of the league, and then once you start separating players like that, it breeds that competition, and then you got teams actually building super teams through the draft, and that's the other thing. Like right now you have the T-Wolves. Once Levine, Wiggins, and Towns all start to hit their stride, hit their prime, I mean they're all 3, before Levine was hurt, all averaging over 20 points a game. Towns I think is averaging a double-double. Wiggins has had back-to-back 40-point games. I mean that's like a superstar team that was built completely through drafts and trades. And then the other team that would have been like that, and we wouldn't probably be having this conversation if it wasn't for the Thunder's front office. They got to be pretty bad to first lose Harden. I mean, people said he was going to leave either way, but if the money's right, you're going to get him to stay. And then they lost KD, so obviously they're doing something wrong in their front office. Otherwise, you could put me at power forward with Harden.
This guy cannot shoot. Cannot shoot.
But you could put me at power forward with Harden, Russ, and KD, and you'd still be winning games. All 3 of those dudes have potential to go off for 40 on any given night. But yeah, you're right. I can't even dribble.
No, I get your argument though, but I'm gonna argue on the opposite side. Your first statement was something about how it makes it more competitive or whatever, because you got these super teams going against each other. I think it kind of takes away from the NBA a certain competitiveness. Like Kevin Durant leaving Russell Westbrook after losing to the Warriors like that, like after they had the series, like in hand, and then they're going to lose like that. And then he goes and joins them. Like, okay, yeah, good job, bud. You just joined a super team that's already the deepest team in the NBA. You took the easy way out. Whereas back in the day, like the super teams that have been, they have had the 3 super guys, like the 3 all-stars, like Michael, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman, and then LeBron, and Dwayne, and Chris Bosh, and Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. They had those 3 guys. But when you join a super team that already has 3 guys, a whole like thing, it's like, okay, just hand them the championship basically, because no one's else going to be able to compete. And like, not just ruining the competitiveness of the NBA, no one's going to want to watch the bad teams anymore. Like, yeah, as a whole, NBA, like, the revenue's going to grow up. That's why everybody's saying it's like, oh, yeah, these are good for the NBA. But no, it's good for the 3 or 4 teams that have the revenue to do that. And I just think it's kind of ruining the NBA, kind of almost making it unwatchable at times. But
yeah, I mean, I agree. KD's a bad example because he kind of backed out from the challenge against the Warriors, but at the same time, their chemistry is just starting to hit stride, and watching them play is honestly a blast. Which, I mean, you're bringing in new fans that they're not real basketball fans. Like, the real basketball fans obviously don't want the super teams.
exactly.
The big threes are going to exist all over the league just because in this league you can't win without 3 good players, and there's so many good players now that big threes keep popping up everywhere. But you're bringing in new fans that really have no idea what basketball is, but the Warriors are making them enjoy the game. But, yeah, you're right, KD.
I mean,
he's a little bit of a punk. I get that.
I think it's just as we're trending forward, you see all these people like wanting to join up, and like it's just kind of taking the easy way out. Like, let your team build through the draft. Like, let your team get good. Like, don't ruin basketball just because you aren't good enough to make a team win on your own.
Yeah. Plus KD. I mean, like, I was bringing up the front office, kind of like breeding the economic, making the front office work a little bit at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, KD is the one situation here that we've had that really the front office didn't have to do anything, because he played with all those guys over in the Olympics down in Rio, and then he pretty much made up his mind just because he had fun with them. And he's making the front office jobs too easy. And like I said, the Thunder, you need a new front office.
I can't argue with that one. That's ridiculous.
All right, so we're going to take a minute here and go to one of our sponsors real quick, and then we'll get back to you guys with the argument of the big 3. All right. Ice Cube.
See you, bro.
So shout out to Ice Cube, his big 3. So, like I said, our next argument just kind of stemming off of super teams and big 3s in the NBA. Ice Cube has his big 3 league coming in June, and it's a little bit of change up from what the NBA is. Obviously, it's a bunch of former NBA players, some of the most popular ones. Like, they got Chauncey Billups, Allen Iverson,
T-Mac.
Yeah, T-Mac. It's like a half-court game, and they put in like a 4-point shot. 5 players per roster, and then it's 3-on-3. So we're just gonna pick our all-time big 3s, who we would have play, and we're gonna say that if it was in their prime. So Henry, I'll let you go first on this one.
All right, obviously you know who my first pick is gonna be. It's gonna be Michael, because obviously you pick a team that you want 3-on-3, you're just gonna win every game, and obviously has Michael's mentality that's not matched by anybody else. You want to go every other player? Or you want?
Sure, we can go every other player. All right, you take Michael. That's all right. I'm gonna take Magic. The dude's 6'9", point guard, averaged over 11 assists a game. It's a team game still, even if you want to play one-on-one ball here. Magic can guard pretty much anybody with his size, his speed. He got quickness left and right, and he can score the ball.
Okay. You said he can guard anybody though.
Pretty much.
So you're gonna put him on next. My next pick is gonna be Shaq, of course. Dude's 7'2",
I got somebody for that.
300 pounds, like monster. One year, he's averaging like 27 points on 60% shooting. I mean, dude's a tank, and I'm pretty sure he averaged like around 3 blocks that year too. And like, if we're taking him in his prime, Shaq is one of the most dominant players in the NBA in a given year. So good luck stopping him.
I'll give you Shaq is dominant, but Shaq primarily just plays down low.
And it's half court, man.
When you have somebody that can play outside, play inside, and can guard him, like Anthony Davis, who's my next pick, I mean, Shaq's got the body weight on him. I mean, but AD, he's gotten bigger. He's a great defensive player. I mean, even look at him today. He shuts down like every player, any post player. He shuts it down. He shuts down Cousins. He shuts down Drummond. He shuts down. He shuts down Cat. And honestly, if Shaq's gonna try to like play down low all game, I'm just gonna play all three of them out. All three of my guys outside. And for every 2 point Shaq makes, I'm going to have them be shooting 4s and 3s. And he's going to have to score double to compete with that.
For some reason, I knew you were going to counter with those 4-point things. So my last pick is none other than Steph Curry. And this is a cool little stat I found out there. Steph Curry, when shooting anywhere from 28 feet to 50 feet, is, when during his MVP run, was 37 of 52. Or 35 of 52. 67%. So, you're saying, oh, Shaq's just going to make 2-pointers the whole time, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to pick whoever people. And I'm going to say, I'm picking the person with the best percentage from that far out who's going to match that. And he could take, like, he can be falling away, he can spot up. I don't know.
Alright, so.
Who's your last guy? Come on.
The man that they call the truth for the reason that he is one of the best 3-point shooters, has over 2,000 3-pointers in his career, one of 7 players to ever do that. He'll learn to shoot that 4-point shot. Plays lockdown defense, gonna lock up Michael. No worries.
That's outrageous.
He might not lock him up, but he's gonna.
That is outrageous.
For every shot Michael makes, he'll make 2. Let's put it that way.
No. Michael Jordan is the best player ever in the NBA.
Yeah, but.
So you're saying
he's never played? Has he ever played against Pierce? No.
No, but
so I'm just gonna have Pierce lock him up.
You're saying that just based on they haven't played each other, he's gonna guard him.
No, I'm just saying based on the fact that Pierce is gonna lock him up, that he's gonna lock him up.
All right. So
and if it comes down to it, I'm just gonna. I'll just start doubling Michael. I'm not worried I'm not worried about Shaq.
So you're gonna double Michael,
and then
but Shaq's not gonna leave this little.
Shoot 4s all game, and
he's
then
Curry. He's not gonna leave this little 4-point thing.
Curry's too small to play against these guys. So I'll just have.
Paul Pierce is too slow to guard him. If you end up putting Magic on Michael,
I'm gonna have Magic just throw Curry out of bounds and then go double Michael all game.
Yeah, but then you're okay. No, Michael will do like these. Have you ever watched videos of Michael where he does like these same moves Kobe did and double teams, triple teams, just launches it up?
That's fine.
Makes it every time.
That's fine.
And if he doesn't, you're double teaming. So Shaq's gonna box out AD, little Steph Curry, little dude.
Dude, Shaq's too slow.
AD's gonna back in the day.
AD's gonna run circles around Shaq. Dude.
I'm not talking old Shaq. I'm talking young Shaq.
I know we're talking primes here. AD's gonna run circles around Shaq, grab the boards. He's gonna shoot the 3 ball. He's gonna dunk on Shaq.
I disagree.
Michael's not gonna be an element.
I disagree too.
And Steph Curry, dude, Steph's not even. I don't even know how Steph's in this conversation. Steph's had 2 good years in his life, dude.
Because he's just unbelievable.
I would respect someone more like Harden or something. Like if you're gonna put somebody like that in there, dude. Like Steph shoots deep. He's gonna shoot the 4 ball, but he's gonna make the 4 ball. Yeah, no, he's not. Because he's not gonna be
Paul
in the
Pierce
game. He's not gonna be able. They're not gonna let him get the ball.
Paul Pierce is not gonna be able to keep up with him out there.
Dude, they're just gonna double. They're gonna double Michael every time he has the ball. They're gonna take it. It's gonna be a jump ball, our ball. Make it take it all day.
Who do you guys got?
That's me. All right, so we're gonna go to our next sponsor here, quick, and then we're gonna get back to it. And we're gonna finish up with a debate on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. In the spirit of the Hall of Fame.
It just makes sense. I get it.
It does.
I get it.
It does. We could have played Moss's song, but I feel like this fits the situation a little better. Alright, so like I said, we're going to debate who should get in the Hall of Fame first. Randy Moss or Terrell Owens. Obviously, Terrell Owens this year was his second opportunity to get in the Hall of Fame, and he didn't get in, which, in my opinion, was
it's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
Allows us to have this debate, so whatever.
Alright, I'm gonna go first since I'll let you take the last one.
Alright, that's fair. 'Cause I destroyed you anyway, but go ahead.
That wasn't even close. I definitely won. It's definitely 2-0. Let's have fun next week. Anyways, so Terrell Owens, the main reason he has not gotten to the Hall of Fame yet is because people say his off-the-field antics, his locker room antics.
He's a bad teammate.
He's a bad teammate, but he made every team he was on 10 times better than they were without him. He played in a Super Bowl on like a fractured leg. He had a stress fracture in his leg, and he was clearly, by leaps and bounds, the best player on that field that year.
They lost, though, didn't they?
They lost. But that's because of his teammates, not because of him, and now he's the bad teammate. He's the one out there doing all the work. He's second all-time in receiving yards, 8th all-time in receptions, and 3rd all-time in receiving touchdowns, with only 3 behind Moss. That's the only stat Moss has him in. He's, I believe, got 100 more receptions than Moss, and he's got more yards than Moss. I think Moss is just slightly behind him, but either way, I don't know how you, as a Hall of Fame voter, could put Moss in the Hall of Fame without having Terrell Owens in there. I mean, if they go in as a pair, they go in as a pair, but there's no reason that Terrell Owens shouldn't have already gotten in, because he's behind Jerry Rice. I mean, Jerry Rice is the GOAT.
Obviously, I agree with
But
that one.
Terrell Owens is the second best. Terrell, just look at Terrell.
Terrell's not the second best.
Yes, dude, just look
Hold
at Terrell Owens. Dude, Terrell Owens looks like a Hall of Fame wide receiver, dude.
Okay, we're so jacked
And
up.
if you're gonna try to argue like the bad teammate thing, like you said at the beginning here.
I was just pointing it out.
Well, okay, but Moss hasn't been the greatest teammate on all of his teams. They've both been on, I think, Terrell Owens is on like 6-7 teams. Moss is the same thing. Terrell Owens was a lot more productive on all of his teams than Moss was.
Yeah, but you play for Oakland in those years. I don't think anybody's.
All right, what about Tennessee? What about his second stint with the Vikings?
Moss Childress was one of the worst coaches ever and refused to play Randy Moss.
After he left New England, all Moss wanted to do was go deep. He didn't like to get hit, and I mean, I get it. He was getting older, but he kind of got lazy there.
All right.
And hold on, one more thing.
Stop disrespecting.
Wait, one more thing. If you're gonna try to argue his off the field antics and whatnot,
I wasn't gonna say anything about off the field.
Oh,
you got to avoid that when you're talking Hall of Fame, because these people apparently aren't good football players because they're bad
but
people
clearly the Hall of Fame voters don't avoid that. So if they're gonna count that in, we got to factor that in. And I'm just gonna say, T.O. has never had any legal trouble, but can't say the same thing for
you. Up in straight cash, homie.
He didn't need to. He didn't need to.
No, I'll agree. They both have their issues, and I could see. I think Terrell should be in already, like I said earlier. But first of all, happy belated birthday, Randy. Hope you're watching. So, about the self-proclaimed best receiver of all time.
Self-proclaimed. Self-proclaimed for a reason.
Good. This guy is like somewhere in like the teens for receptions, 982. 15th, yeah, you're right. And then second in touchdowns, as they already alluded to, ahead of Terrell Owens.
By three.
Yeah, but he's 600 yards behind him for third all time with, I think it was like 86 less catches or something like that, averaging more yards per catch. Over a yard more per catch than Terrell Owens. So
because Moss was a one-trick pony, dude.
No, he wasn't. A one-trick pony that has the most single-season touchdowns by a receiver, and also most for a rookie receiver ever. But the thing that gets me about Moss is when you look at it, and you look at every team he's been on, even if it's a bad quarterback, good quarterback, besides his 2 years in Oakland, which...
What about Tennessee?
He was like 40. Just kidding, he's just turned 40. But, no, you look at, what I saw was 5 out of the 7 quarterbacks he's played with, when he was with them, they had their best career year. Like Tom Brady, best year with him. Dante Culpepper, best year. Randall Cunningham.
Dante Culpepper
was terrible.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so much. He was an all-pro quarterback when he had Randy Moss.
But yeah, Chris Carter too.
Not in the later years, right before Randy Moss got traded.
That's true. But...
And then you look at Randall Cunningham, who was not very. He got benched by his old team before he went to Minnesota and had his best career year. And I think Jeff George played that year too. Jeff George, yeah, and he had his best career year. I don't know if that matters, but the last thing and probably the most important thing about Randy Moss, even in his older years, is how much he changed the game, and only one player changed it. Because every time Moss was on the field, even though he's a one-trick pony, you know they either double him or you have at least one guy over top. Because if you don't, Randy Moss is going to do the disrespectful hand up in the air, run past everybody, and catch it.
Dude, they had to double TO too, but they had to almost triple TO. You had to put
a different way.
You had to put a linebacker there in case he ran the inside routes. You had to have a corner on him because he could blow past you, and you had to have the safety there to cover that. You had to have the safety to cover the post. Moss, really, he ran. He wasn't just a one-trick pony, but he used his speed.
He uses his speed.
Owens uses his speed and his size, quickness, all that, because he could do more than Moss could. It's just a fact. Like, watch their tape.
He could not do. Randy Moss was called super freak. The dude could not do more than Randy Moss.
You ever see Moss picking up a 3-yard first down?
Yeah, actually I did. I used to be a Vikings fan back in the day.
How often do you see that? Once every 100 3-yard third down?
Because those little 3-yard passes turn into like 40-yard plays.
Dude, those 3-yard first downs that's the reason T.O. has 86 more catches than him, because he could do that.
Because Randy didn't need to. Randy has 3 more touchdowns on 80 less catches.
Dude, T.O. did more.
T.O. did not do more. Randy Moss was the only player to be part of the 2 best offenses of all time.
Okay, but
the 98 Vikes.
His
undefeated New England Patriots.
New England Patriots, though, he had Tom Brady, arguably the greatest quarterback. Yeah, that one, and greatest quarterback of all time. But
I still say he's the one player to be part of the 2 best offenses, statistically wise, points wise, all this. And there's a reason the man.
Oh, you're bringing up these quarterbacks though. Like, who did T.O. have to throw to him?
Steve Young, early in his career, Hall of Fame quarterback.
I'll give you Steve Young.
Donovan McNabb.
Don't bring up Donovan.
Are you kidding me?
Donovan McNabb was good because of Terrell Owens, dude.
No, T.O.
made him.
T.O. brought
Owens too. Dude, after Terrell Owens, he ended up in Minnesota sitting on the bench, dude.
No, he played.
And then he
was like 35.
T.O. played with Romo
Romo was garbage.
Romo was garbage.
Pretty good regular season quarterback.
Really good regular season, but Romo's irrelevant.
What's that matter? What's that matter in the postseason?
He's probably one of the most average quarterbacks you'll ever bring up.
You're gonna say
don't get me started on Romo, dude.
Dante Culpepper.
Romo's so
Dante Culpepper after Randy Moss left was 5-22 as a starter and got moved around until he was in the Canadian Football League.
Dude, if Romo was good,
if
Romo was good, he'd have more winning seasons. Romo was so average.
Every time
Romo's a good quarterback in an average quarterback league right now.
No.
Dude,
the only reason he's not good right now is because he's hurt.
Dude, the years that Romo has been healthy, he's been
good.
He's not been good. He's been the best of the bad quarterbacks, dude. In the last 12 years, there's been 5 good quarterbacks, and Romo's not one of them.
I'd say 5 elite.
All right, that's not the argument. That's not the argument right now.
5 elite quarterbacks, and I'd say top 10 is pretty good in a 32-team league.
Dude, quarterback play has really not been good lately. That might be a good topic next week. That might be a good topic next week.
Something.
All right, but like I said,
Randy Moss is getting in first.
They should both get in next year.
First ballot Hall of Fame.
But that's doubtful because it's been 20 some odd years since 2 wide receivers have gotten in the Hall of Fame at the same time.
But you got Super Freak and then the dude who played on the broken leg and should have been Super Bowl MVP if they didn't lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should both get in, like I said. But I don't think you can put Moss in before Owens, and I think it's going to be difficult to argue that you can put Moss in without Owens if you're going to hold Owens out. They're not holding Owens out because of the way he played by any means from the Hall of Fame. They're holding him out because of his off the field issues, which technically Moss had more of. I give it to you. Moss changed the game.
That's debatable.
Legally, dude. That's what they're going on these moral ground. Just because T.O. was a douchebag doesn't mean
they're literally saying he's a bad teammate. If you're that bad a teammate where they're doing it and you didn't even have legal reasons, Someone's got to be.
Yeah, but if you're going to bring up off-the-field issues, you got to take into account all of the off-the-field issues.
He was young in Minnesota. He hasn't had any since.
All right. I'll give you, like I said,
Oh,
hopefully they both get in next year. All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully they both get in next year. All right, so we're going to wrap this up. And like I said, I'm going to finish this up with a little rant of the day. And so it might be a little bit of a touchy subject, but whatever. I had to say something about it because it's been bothering me a little bit. So we keep seeing all of these sexual assault cases with college athletes. You had the Minnesota incident, you had the Baylor incident, both very different incidents. And then today we had warrants issued for 3 Michigan State football players. And my issue with this, there's 2 sides to it. Like in the U of M case, there was a lot of people to jump on all 10 players without taking to. Everyone's saying you got to hold athletes to a higher standard, but people don't realize that these athletes are just students. They're 20, 21 years old, just like us. They shouldn't be necessarily held to a higher standard, but they should be held to the exact same standard that you'd hold anybody else to. And that means innocent until proven guilty from that standpoint. But at the same time, when you look at like the Baylor case, where you have 52, I believe, sexual assault cases that were essentially swept under the rug by both coaches and the university police. Now you got to hold athletes to the exact same standard. I believe there's 31 athletes involved in that situation over a span of like 6 years or something like that. All of them need to go back and be held accountable. Everyone involved, everyone that swept anything under the rug, anyone that did anything needs to be held accountable and need to be punished for that. And then just to any student athletes out there today, you need to start holding your teammates accountable. Coaches, you need to hold your players accountable. And I mean, if you're friends with athletes, everyone needs to hold each other accountable. And not just athletes, but just students in general. Not even just students, but everyone. You need to hold each other accountable. And these things don't need to happen. Even if some of them may be misunderstandings and whatnot, they don't need to happen. Keep your friends and your teammates out of that situation, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. All right, so thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed. Yeah, that was my rant. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the first Uncut Podcast, and we'll be putting up that Twitter poll tonight, and go ahead and vote for your winner. Definitely by far me. I for sure won 2 out of 3 of those without a question.
You did say that Paul Pierce was going to guard Michael Jordan, so.
All right, I told you, dude. I'm going to double Jordan, steal the ball. Anyways, you guys heard the argument.
Right.
You guys heard the argument, so feel free to vote. Next week we'll announce the winner, and then the loser will have their punishment, and then we'll also be putting up our poll for that third topic that we're gonna debate on. Maybe we'll release one of the topics that we chose this week, and I think it might be something about those quarterbacks. You almost got me going there.
All right.
Thank you guys.
See ya.